I talk to a lot of folks that say, hungry in Denver? No. Really? No. They just don't buy it. And I think if they did spend a little time down here, they would be enlightened. Because there's crises that might not be these, tornadoes, but they're crises within families. A lost job, a lost house, drug addiction, dysfunction. And guess what? That leads to low-income folks and poor folks, and that leads to hunger. And there's a huge hunger need in Colorado. I mean, so many families are one curveball away from really losing it all. You can always tell first-timers because they're embarrassed about being here. And there are folks that were, one check away from, losing houses and that kind of thing. And we're seeing more of the folks from the suburbs. We have an open boundaries food bank, and so folks can come from wherever. And we're seeing more Anglos and more working families, and the working poor has gotten bigger. That demographic is not what I used to know. That's changed.
It's really hard as a mom to hear your children say, "Mom, there's nothing to eat." That's a really difficult thing to hear. It was hard for me initially to go to a food bank because, pardon my judgment, but I didn't feel like I looked like somebody who needed to be at a food bank. So I had a big humility pill to swallow. And I remember standing in line for the food bank, and I was dressed for work, and I had on a skirt, and I had on heels, and I thought, I don't belong here. I work really hard. I do have several jobs right now. My main job, I'm a bridal consultant, and I also work at Red Rocks, and I do have a cake decorating business that I operate out of my home. But right now, it's not enough. It's not enough to provide enough food for our family, even working 2 jobs and a third from my home.
In Douglas County, there's a conception that everyone's a millionaire. And Douglas County is a very well-to-do county. Most people don't recognize the fact that there are over 4,000 kids in the free lunch program in the county. For the most part, we're dealing with middle-class families that in the past, they were always donors to charities. It's very hard for them to come to us for assistance or to come to anyone for assistance. I mean, we have architects and doctors and law enforcement and fire personnel. I mean, this is the people who live next door to you. These are working professionals that their jobs went away. These aren't second-class citizens, these are our neighbors.
I think our largest but least visible at-risk group for hunger is our toddlers, is our young children. Those are children who really nutrition is essential for their early development and for their development and success later on in life. But those are the kids also who we really don't see. Those are the kids who are not in school yet. All of our kids are referred for issues of what we call failure to thrive, or basically not following the growth chart for their age, for their weight. So there's multiple issues that can lead to failure to thrive. One issue obviously being hunger. So we always look for different cardiac issues that can happen with these kids. We always make sure that they don't have a liver enlargement. That can be a sign of having issues. Make sure that their tonsils are not too big, that their lungs sound clear. Pretty much making sure that they're overall healthy as well.
I am a 6th grade teacher at Mulholm Elementary, which is in Jefferson County, Colorado. People don't realize the kind of hunger that the children in my classroom experience is happening in Lakewood, in Colorado, and in the United States. They have no notion. And I had this little boy in my room. I'll call him Robbie. And I noticed that his clothes weren't right. They smelled. And I noticed that his thinking was off. He couldn't concentrate, he couldn't focus. And I figured out that this kid was struggling not only on an emotional and spiritual level, but on a physical level. He wasn't eating enough. So I got peanut butter, I put oranges, apples, grapes, things that in my mind kids could grab and go. We all knew that Robbie's clothes smelled funny. We all knew that he would fall asleep in class. But what we didn't know is that he was smart. People didn't believe in him before. So by helping this little boy, the culture of the classroom changed. And what it did is it created a culture of love and compassion.